Story. Adamas, Episode 4 starts with Woo Sin and Haesong listening to Haesong's recording, and it seems like his resolve to join Woo Sin is solidified. A title card later, Woo Sin, on his way back, comes across Haesong, and a few apologies later, she mentions that she thought it would be Soo Hyeon who would come for the Adamas. Woo Sin asks to keep his brother out of it. Unknown to him, Soo Hyeon is talking to Chong-woo and screaming at him to tell him the truth. In spite of trying everything he can, however, Soo Hyeon isn't able to break Chong-woo, who only stares at him with dead eyes. Soo Hyeon promises to reveal everything that he's trying to protect and asks him to be prepared. Back at Haesong, Haesong asks Woo Sin what his reaction will be if Chong-woo ends up dead, mentioning Byung-chul's latest pledge in a press conference. With time ticking, Woo Sin remembers his mother's dying words and realizes that he's in a bind. Meanwhile, Soo Hyeon, too, realizes that if the death penalty gets legalized and Chong-woo is killed, he will never be able to know the truth. The next day, Ms. Kwon tries to intimidate Woo Sin about the note in the trash, but he, quite smartly, turns it around to be a writer quirk. No one is the wiser except Dong Rim, who mentions that he doesn't write notes. Meanwhile, Chairman Kwon meets Yun Jo and tells him that he will be retiring and that the company is on him from now on. Yun Jo, as every son of Lee Kyung-young's characters, is ecstatic and looks drunk on the power. Meanwhile, Chairman Kwon remembers the time he told Min Jo to take over the company and how he refused to be a part of it, considering it was all created on the blood of others. On Bo Yun is introduced for the first time as Min Jo, and he looks just the part for it. In the meantime, Haesong takes Woo Sin to Min Jo's room, the only room that is locked in the house. She mentions that although this is a precious room for the chairman, the Adamas isn't here. Woo Sin knows this already and promises not to bother her anymore. He further asks Haesong to keep this a secret from Soo Hyeon, and Haesong promises not to make such a promise. She might need a trump card someday. Soo Hyeon, meanwhile, goes to Won Jong's gravesite with Seo-hee and Prumzis to catch the culprit. They discuss the possibilities that Chong-woo might or might not be lying, and Soo Hyeon reminds her not to feel guilty. She's the victim, why should she live in pain like this? At Haesong, Woo Sin investigates that some floors only have fire detectors and don't have sprinklers. He goes to see Haesong to ask him about the fire systems in place and gets to know that because of the artwork in the house, they cannot use water. Thus, they use halogen gas to snuff out the oxygen and, in turn, the fire as well. Haesong curiously asks why he's asking him these things, and Woo Sin mentions that he's going to start a fire that day. On the other hand, having dangled a huge favor on Dong Rim, Ms. Kwon blackmails him to do his bidding. Team Lead Lee, however, is having a though time as he gets to know that Soo Hyeon not only met Chong-woo, but he knows about an accomplice as well. Furthermore, he has a sketch of said accomplice. Obviously, he's annoyed, and they all realize that it was Seo-hee who witnessed the crime. As this is happening, Seo-hee goes to meet Chong-woo and the latter, again, tells her to stop getting too deep into it. Chong-woo seems like he's scared of what will happen if she gets to know too much, and I don't doubt him one bit. At Haesong, Dong Rim realizes that Ms. Kwon is pulling the strings of his father's health and goes to confront him, closely followed by Haesong. Ms. Kwon tells him to choose loyalty or his father's health, and really, with odds this bad, it's not really much of choice. Later, Haesong and Woo Sin, while having a discussion about Min Jo, realize that his helicopter accident might not have been much an accident in the first place. Haesong warns him to be careful, as Ms. Kwon isn't someone who would simply give up. At 4, as Ms. Kwon goes off to greet the chairman, Haesong disarms the fire alarm in the kitchen, and after a close call with the chef, Woo Sin moves on to his next order of business. Soo Hyeon, meanwhile, is called for a meeting with Seo-hee, and Leader Lee is absolutely furious at having his face exposed and orders him to clean the mess up. As Soo Hyeon asks Seo Hee to be careful with what she's doing and whom she's meeting, he lets her know that the guilty party has reached out to him to meet under a bridge. Soo Hyeon mentions that it's definitely because they want to tell him something in private, but of course, this meeting can't go well. At Haesong, Dong Rim tries to convince himself that he's doing the right thing by spying on Woo Sin. On the other hand, Tae Sung gets the ball rolling by activating the fire alarm system. Unfortunately for Woo Sin's plan, he doesn't find Adamas's hiding spot, plus Ms. Kwon lies to him that Ms. Yoon is stuck inside the building. Feeling guilty, he rushes inside to save her, while Ms. Yoon is seen outside, waiting for the chairman. Now trapped in the chairman's office with no way of escaping, he slowly starts suffocating. Haesong, on the other hand, realizes what Ms. Kwon is up to and immediately alerts security to stop the system. While passing out, Woo Sin finally finds Adamas's hiding spot. Episode 4 ends here. Adamas Episode 4 Review. There's something so deliciously twisted but still calm about Adamas, that I can't help but be enamored with it. The fact that the creators decided to attack the problem in two ways for the brothers to come to a mutual conclusion works so well in its favor. We know the truth, but when the brothers know, how will they react? The series is going pretty well, and Adamas Episode 4 adds another layer of mystery to it. Although I like the idea of guessing who actually killed Woo Sin and Soo Hyeon's father, I think the real mystery that we haven't even scratched the surface of yet is Min Jo's death. People are too cagey about it, and it clearly wasn't an accident, so what was it? I wonder what would happen if Ms. Kwon ordered the chairman's favorite son to be killed in order to protect him. I am also eagerly waiting for hell to rain on Ms. Kwon. She's so annoying that it's amusing. Wong Young-min is doing an excellent job portraying the character. I genuinely have come to despise her. Also, is she having an affair with the chairman or something? They are too snuggly for any professional relationship. Either way, Adamas has a lot to tell us. Still, I hope, but, if this is it, I think we're going to have a few very dragged out future episodes. Check out Adamas on TVN and Disney+. For details, episode-wise synopsis, detailed reviews and explanations of your favorite American or other country series and movies, please tell us in comment section. Thanks for watching.